Hi, my name is Bailey Swan, and I'm going to be talking about bones in the ear. I'm going to be talking about the main ducts in our nose, and this is group 3. So I'm going to start with the nose. I have a little skeleton here. So right here you see there's going to be ridges right here. There's 3 of them. Those are going to be your superior, middle, and inferior concha. And those are bones basically to expand the nasal cavity. Inside of these 3 bones, you have the superior, middle, and inferior meatus. The meatus main, I'm going to put this down. The meatus main function is to, for the air that comes through the nasal cavity to keep that warm and moist, humidified air and travel that up through into the rest of the canal. And also one of its other main functions is to drain sinus ducts. So right here, I have a little drawing of the superior, middle, and inferior concha and meatus. As you can see, it's on the anterior portion of the skull. Here's your lateral view right there. And I just used this one to show you that the blue is the superior meatus, or the blue is the meatus, and the red is the concha. The concha is made up of bony elements, and the meatus is just a natural body passageway. And the superior meatus drains some portions of the ethmoid sinus cavity, the posterior to be specific, and then the middle meatus and middle concha drain the anterior portion of the ethmoid and the maxillary and frontal sinus cavities. Now I'm going to move on to my ear. This is my drawing of the most lateral and medial portions of the ear canal. So just to explain what's going on here, this right here is the auricle. It's the outer portion of the ear, and sound waves are going to travel in through the external canal right here. And then you're going to get to the first thing that the sound waves are going to hit is the eardrum, but just named as the tympanic membrane, and it's just a thin little membrane. So once the sound waves hit that membrane, it's going to start vibrating, and that is going to communicate to the malleus and then the incus. The malleus and the incus make up 2 of the 3 bones, the small tiny bones in the ear, and the third one is the stapes, which is connected to it's called a foot plate stapes, and it's connected to the conchylia right here. It's a little round, I'm pretty sure they named it because it looks like a shell, but it's got fluid inside the conchylia, and the stapes are going to vibrate and hit that oval window right here, which is the opening to the conchylia, and it's being closed by the stapes, but whenever the sound waves travel to the ear, it's going to vibrate against that and send those signals through the fluid, which has tiny little hair cells in them. And these hair cells send electric signals through the auxiliary nerve and canal. Then you notice there's another little circle window right here. This one's called the round window. The purpose of the round window is for that sound to escape back out through the external canal and back through the ear. It just has to let that energy out because you have so much energy traveling in that it needs somewhere to go. So that's my portion of our head and neck part 2.
So today I'm going to be talking about the epiglottis, the eustachian tube, and the sublingual lymph nodes, and I do have them drawn on my skeleton, or my skull, but when I show the complete anatomy part, that will be a lot better. First, we're going to start with the epiglottis. It's usually upright and resting, and it allows your air to pass through into the larynx and lungs, and when you swallow, it folds backwards to cover the entrance of the larynx so food and liquid don't enter your windpipe and lungs. So when people say, and then after that it returns to the upright position. And when people say it went down the wrong hole or pipe or whatever, obviously we don't have 2 ways in our throat. So that's what they're meaning. Sometimes it doesn't close all the way, so when you get choked on your water or food or something like that, that just means it didn't close all the way, so you kind of get choked. Next we're going to talk about the eustachian tubes. I think I'm saying that right. And they connect from your middle ear to the back of your throat, and they help drain fluid and equalize air pressure. So like when your ears pop, when you're going at a high elevation and when you come back down. And that's, whenever your nose gets stopped up, or, a lot of times my ears get stopped up, and that can cause allergies, ear infections, colds, sore throats, those sort of things. And I'll show you again on Complete Anatomy. It kind of goes in and comes around here, and it drains everything. And then we're going to talk about the sublingual lymph nodes, and those are kind of in here. Imagine this pink part being your tongue, and down here, that orange part, that would be like kind of where the lymph nodes are. I'm sorry, I completely lost my spot. They're in the primary side of the neck, and they're just some lymph nodes that are down here, and that's usually where your salivary tumors begin and things like that. And in just a second, I'm going to show you in Complete Anatomy those three that I just talked about. Really, I'm just going to be showing you where the epiglottis, eustachian tube, and sublingual lymph nodes are. So your tube is right in here. Kind of have to look for it. There it is, in green right there. And if you are looking straight ahead, you can see it. And the lymph nodes are up under here, and there is where your epiglottis is. So those are the regions, or the places. I'd also like to discuss the medical relevancy of the eustachian tube, sublingual lymph nodes, and the epiglottis. So the eustachian tube, that tube that runs through here like that and drains your sinuses, if that becomes blocked, you can have a lot of sinus issues, lots of ear trouble, ear infections, things like that. Your lymph nodes, just like your lymph nodes here and then here and other places, if those were to become, I'm not sure what word to use, mutated maybe, that is where tumors can arise for cancer. And then the epiglottis, that part in your throat that flaps open and closed to let air and water and food down, if that were to mess up, you'd probably have to use a feeding tube or something like that, because there would be no way for you to separate water and food. It would all go to your lungs. So